The girlfriend is dieting, and I'm going to diet with her because I'm that kind of boyfriend.
And you're fat.
Oh, you're just apple. No, apple. Pot. I just called you an apple.
He did. He did. I'm the apple of his eye. Just asking.
You're listening to Slightly Uncomfortable. Are you ready?
So I guess we ought to get this damn thing started.
Yeah, let's do that.
Welcome to Slightly Uncomfortable. We have an empty chair again this evening. As you can hear, it is not Root's chair.
No.
It is yet again young Alex.
Yes.
Is our vagabond playboy of a co-host here.
I think I know what happened to him tonight.
Let me hear it.
It's so cold.
It is. Oh, you don't think the scarf did him?
I think he tried to wrap too many scarves around him, and he hung himself.
Could have. He could have went into scarf overload.
I think so.
Because he does have a lot to choose
He
from.
has a lot of them. Yeah.
I've got one scarf, and I don't know if it's ever been washed.
Well, that's one thing we know about Alex.
Well, we don't know if it's been washed, but we know he's got a bunch of them. We're not speaking to his cleanliness, but we know he's got a bunch of them.
But he is a handsome man. I've said that before.
I just am a little uncomfortable each time you say that.
I am very comfortable with myself.
And evidently you're very comfortable with him. But anyway, we are right in the middle of a series, and due to scheduling concerns and things, we wanted to make sure we had all three of us here to do the continued series that we've been working on, which is the religion series.
Yep.
But we wanted to have something for the in-betweens. And this is going to be a reoccurring in-between type show.
Kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's going to be really lighthearted. It may be just Root and I. It could be Alex and myself. It could be Alex and Root. Or it could be all three of us. We don't know.
Or it could be one of us and maybe somebody else.
Just maybe a special guest,
Yeah.
which we're talking to several folks.
Players to be named later.
Yeah, we're talking to several folks, and we really appreciate everybody listening to the show, number one.
Absolutely.
Since we have went, I guess you call it public, we're now on iTunes. What's it called? Stitcher. Skechers a shoe.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
They are not on shoes yet, but we're working towards some marketing plans that could possibly put us on some footwear.
Look out, Nike.
Yeah, I like the feet. Anyway, but we're on Sketcher and
Anchor, Spotify.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, and we're going to work on possibly maybe even doing some videos or putting some sort of video overlay for the YouTube folks, because I know there's a bunch of people out there that like YouTube.
Yep.
What we're going to really encourage you to do to help us out is please go on iTunes or Sketcher or Snitcher or what?
Stitcher.
Get those and Overcast, and go on there and rate us, because that really helps us to get up on the charts and such, and gets us out to a lot of other folks.
Yep, and check us out on Facebook too. Slightly Uncomfortable. Find our page, get in there, comment, get involved. Let us know what you think, what you want to hear about.
And we're really trying to make that page very active.
Yeah.
And we would love to have folks comment, and we're going to give you an opportunity to maybe give us some show suggestions, to maybe have some comments about shows that we've done. Good, bad, or indifferent, we want to hear your voice.
Well, and one of the things that kind of tipped us in the direction of doing this kind of thing is, a lot of the topics that we cover here tonight not being the case, but generally we talk about big topics, and principled and philosophical discussions.
We're philosophers.
Well, I didn't say we were good at it.
Sit at our feet and learn, children.
And it takes a certain kind of individual to appreciate this kind of discussion.
Yeah, we're not judging you.
Yeah, we're not judging anybody. What we're really doing is looking for friends.
Yeah.
Come be our friends.
Come to the basement. But yeah, and we definitely appreciate that. Also, if you could maybe share our podcast with your friends, maybe put it out on your page. Reach out to us. Of course, Root and Alex are anonymous because oddly enough, Root was not born with that name.
I know.
Now, I am who I am. I'm James. Reach out to me on Facebook, and I would gladly answer any question you have or anything such as that. So enough of the blatant pandering.
Yes, and begging and pleading.
Well, there was that.
There was that.
But the name of this podcast is going to be 3 Bourbons In. as everybody knows, that's right. As everybody knows, bourbon is a constant thread in each one of our shows. And as you can listen, if you listen to all of our shows through their entirety, you will hear me starting to slur because normally I am more than 3 bourbons in.
Yes.
But this is going to be our in-between shows where we talk about just different things.
Well,
now,
our strikes are fancy.
that's right. So for today's show, and we may be using this a lot in the future because I find this absolutely fascinating, I introduced Root to a website called Reddit.
Reintroduced, really.
Yeah, and for him to be online as much as he is, his total ignorance of things that are cool just boggles my mind.
Well, there's ignorance, and then
No, it's
there's
ignorance.
Ignorance. Sorry, terribly. You are quite correct. There's ignorance, and oh my God, I don't want to go there because those people are crazy. And that's kind of where I'm at with Reddit.
You've told me the site you go to. I don't believe that's your litmus test. But anywho, there is a subreddit on Reddit, and if you've not been to Reddit, this may sound a little bit foreign with what they call a subreddit and all, but it's a karma-based website where they call it I believe it's a front door to the internet.
Yeah.
And they have anything under the sun, and a subreddit is something that is specifically featured within that thread, within that group of users.
Within that topic.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the subreddits, and this is one of the popular ones, it's called Today I Learned.
Oh, boy.
And I proposed this to Root the other day, and what we're going to do is we're going to read about topics.
Yeah.
And actually, I've picked these topics out. Root has no idea about these topics at all.
I am more than a little afraid.
Prior to this show, I went on and read it and found some stuff I thought may be interesting and something that we could talk about. So I'm going to read the exact post on Reddit, and all of these posts have a linked web page or news article or something that reference this. So they have some legitimacy. I'm not saying they're going to be fact. And by the way, just as an overall statement, none of the stuff that we say on here should be looked at as being true or fact-based.
Wait a minute. I said it, by God.
We may think it is, but we may be far more than 3 bourbons in.
Yeah, we could be.
We are doing this purely.
See?
Oh my
Right
God,
there.
There's no F in pure.
No, there is not.
Jesus Christ.
There's a stone hammer in that, though.
The capital punishment of bourbon.
It is. It is.
But we are doing this purely for entertainment purposes.
Absolutely.
And these are just our opinions.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you put any more credence in that, that's on you.
Yeah. Well, of course, my opinions happen to be correct.
Well,
but-
I've always thought that you can either agree with me or be wrong.
Well, there's
And
that.
that's what I do. So let's go and get into the topics of the day. And the first Today I Learned is
Oh, God.
Levi jeans helped create casual Fridays in the workplace all over the world, taking the inspiration from Hawaiian Fashion Guild Aloha Fridays, which were designed to sell more Aloha shirts in Hawaii. Now, Root and I both work in state government. I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
And we relish
Yes.
Casual Friday.
Or
Who would have thought that the idea and the concept of Casual Friday was introduced by Levi's Jeans to help sell more jeans? What's your thoughts?
well, the notion that Levi Strauss was trying to increase their market share in business, no surprise at all. What I'm kind of scratching my noggin about is how does this apply to Hawaiian shirts?
They took the idea from a Hawaiian shirt manufacturer making it Hawaiian Shirt Day over in Hawaii. And then all the businesses and stuff said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, okay.
So Levi said, hey, let's do this worldwide. And obviously it took off in the United States.
Well, of course.
And their home country. But since I've been in state government, which has now been almost 18 years, how long have you been in it?
I'm working on year 20 as we speak.
All right, so as long as I've been in state government, there has always been a casual dress Friday.
Yeah, I remember there being such a thing in other agencies when I first started. This was 20 years ago, but our particular agency did not embrace it until we had a couple of leadership changes,
Right.
and now it's casual Monday through Friday, and
and I miss that
Yeah.
because Root and I used to work together, and I would just wear blue jeans every day. And here's the weird thing for me: there is something about blue jeans that just puts me in a frame of mind. Because in all honesty, I have dress slacks that are far more comfortable than any pair of blue jeans I own. But there's just something about it's almost like a free cup of Jello at the county prison. It's like
what?
they're throwing a bone to us, and we're getting to break a rule for a day.
So a free cup of Jello at the county prison.
Well, all right, state government, kind of prison-like. They get to tell us when we come and go,
Yeah, that's
when
fair.
we can eat,
Yeah,
what we can wear,
they try. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That kind of stuff. So in my mind, I've always thought of it as kind of prison-esque.
Not exactly wrong.
Right.
Not exactly
So
wrong.
it's like, hey, guys, it's Friday. Enjoy your cup of Jello
right.
in the form of some jean breeches.
Enjoy a picture show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and we're going to judge each and every one of these on a standard of cool for the things that we obviously think are cool.
Yeah.
And if something is really weird, strange, or for whatever reason triggers us to say that's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah. Because there are things in this world that are fucked up, and I think I'm going to hear a couple.
You may, and I honestly, in this Three Bourbons Ed show that we're doing, we're going to be tackling a whole lot of stuff throughout the series of this podcast that are troublesome topics.
Uncomfortable.
I kind of want this just to be a little
Fun.
bit more lighthearted. So again, to recap, Levi's responsible for Casual Dress Friday. Do you think that is cool, or do you think that's kind of fucked up?
So we just spent the last 20 seconds talking about this range
Yeah,
and talking about the extremes on both ends.
we did.
I'm kind of ambivalent. I'm falling right down in the middle.
Since I have known Root, I don't believe that he has ever been ambivalent about anything.
Well, I mean-
because if we are good at anything, it's having an opinion.
Yeah, and an extreme one.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
can argue either side.
Probably both at the same time.
Exactly. So you don't have an opinion on this?
I'm just kind of, I'm not surprised. Levi Strauss, when
They're not what they once were.
that's true, and the reason that they're not is they became complacent, and then people like, back at the time, people like Jordache and all these.
Oh, wow.
Right,
You really
that's
went-
going way back.
Hey,
isn't it?
look, Jordache is showing.
Right. Oh, sometimes you kind of wish it would. Don't lie.
Not mine.
Not yours,
No,
but
no.
I never wore Jordache jeans, but I knew a lot of ladies that did back in the high school years, and just saying.
I'm going to let you own this part of the show.
That's fine, but their market did take a tank because they got complacent.
I think they got in trouble with the quality of their
Yeah.
product, because back when I was a kid, Levi's was hands down the holy grail of blue jeans. Then you had Wrangler, and then we had
What was that other one?
what was the one that you could retire your car with it? Wrangler used to be that way. Wrangler used to be where you could stand the fucking jean up in the corner.
Oh yeah.
And then there was Lee.
Yep.
And then there were Garanimals. Yeah, you don't remember Garanimals? You're looking at me like I'm an idiot.
No, I'm looking at you kind of afraid because those are pajamas.
No, they're not pajamas.
They're pajamas,
You're very
James.
wrong.
No, I am exactly
all right,
perfectly
all right.
correct.
Just listen to this.
You still wear them, don't you?
All right, please understand. This is what I know. I am colorblind. Been colorblind since birth.
Okay.
Garanimals was a product put out to help kids match colors on clothes.
True.
So if you had a rhino shirt, the rhino breeches would match the rhino shirt.
Okay.
So it was shirt and breeches. Yes, they did have pajamas, but they were primarily outfits.
Okay.
And then they came out to say, well, sometimes a rhino will work with a hippo. Sometimes, but I always went rhino to rhino, hippo to hippo. And I know the shit. I know. I just had an ephany. I know. But the jeans we were talking about
I got to
was
cut his ass
Toughskins.
off.
Toughskins.
Toughskins, that's what it was. I do remember that. Somehow I'm still struggling with how Garanimals fit into the jeans
I want to tell you
conversation.
what right now. Afterwards, after the show is over, and we're 12
I am not
bourbons
going
in,
upstairs and looking at
no,
your Garanimal
no,
collection.
We're going to Google Garanimals, and you're going to eat crow. Boom. Walk away. So, what were we talking about?
Roots never heard from again.
I got a hole in the basement.
You put
But
lotions
Levi's
on
did
its
drop
skin.
the ball because it used to be Levi's was the working man's gene and also the stylish gene.
Right.
And what happened was their quality went down to the point to where working men would not buy them anymore.
Because they wouldn't stand up to the task.
Right, and they moved over to Wrangler, which I would contend today, Wrangler has surpassed Levi's still.
I think they fit better.
Well, we're old, so we want
Well-
the more forgiving fit. Now, I'm
So
not
there's
wearing
that.
elastic blue jeans yet, although I'm about 2 years away from it.
Well, I remember my mother, both my mom and dad.
Well, your mom's still alive. I'm glad you remember
Yes,
her.
yes,
It's not
yes.
like she's passed.
If you had shut up, I'd tell you the story. My mom used to hate for me to wear jeans as a kid because to her, and my mom is north of 75. And
Is that Interstate 75? Is she in
man,
Cincinnati?
I just walked into that, didn't I? My mother was born in 1944. James.
That doesn't mean she's not on the highway. Go ahead.
So, but when she was growing up, jeans were what the lower middle class kids wore.
And what were you?
What was she?
No, but what were you then at the time? This is the irony here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You all were lower middle class, right?
Yes. But just every post-boomer family and the baby boomers, they wanted to make their children better than how they grew up. So jeans as a young boy was not something that I wore. It wasn't until this proliferation of other brands, Lee, Wrangler, Toughskin. There was
Jordache, you mentioned.
that came later, but there was a company in Lexington called Corwin that made their own brand of blue jeans. It was a local thing.
I had an aunt that did that.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to wear them because she literally made breeches at home.
But to
And
tell
my
you,
mom got a pair of those for me, and I'm like, "Hey, hi, Mom, I'm not wearing these."
to tell you how lower middle class we were growing up, we would go to, it wasn't Corwin, it was Cowden, and we would
Calvin
go,
Klein?
Cowden.
Oh.
Good God.
Calvin was from Lexington?
No.
Jesus.
But we would go to that outlet store just to get clothes to wear so Mom didn't have to make stuff, right? So, and she was ashamed of that. I didn't know any better. But the reason she was ashamed of that was because they're blue jeans. And when she was growing up in the 50s, the only people that wore those things were the motorcycle guys, the
Hooligans.
greasers.
They were
The
hooligans.
hooligans, yeah, the hoodlums. And so, yeah. Now, why am I kind of ambivalent about that? Is about the Levi's thing. Their market kind of collapsed. Well, their brand collapsed, and then they started coming back, and they probably started coming back because of this social activity that they were involved in.
Which, honestly, and as far as marketing goes,
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius. But I'm
so your final verdict?
meh.
We did not say that. This is the first of our shows on the 3 Bourbons In. We did our 2 parameters.
But
and
you did
went,
extremes. Okay. All right.
I don't have an opinion.
Here, no, I've got an opinion. All right. It's cool.
All right, so
It's cool.
I'm going to give mine now.
It's not cool. Oh my God, that's cool.
I would agree with that, but
It's
think
also not. God, that's fucked up.
yeah,
So,
agreed. There's nothing
there's
fucked up
room.
about this.
Yeah, it's not at all.
No, but with every concept that we take for granted, which I think this has been a concept that I've taken for granted ever since I've been in state government. We've had a casual dress Friday.
Right.
I really didn't know why, but it was there. So what we forget many times, even in today's society, is we forget that there's a beginning to everything. Somebody somewhere came up with that idea.
Yep.
Where did it come from?
Yep.
So it's nice to now know that, hey, it came from Levi's.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, in my mind, kind of cool. Also, with my background, I love ingenious marketing plans. And the fact that they marketed their jeans indirectly through this concept that kind of meandered its way through businesses and corporations throughout the United States, and I'm not sure if it's abroad or not, but I know it has been through the United States.
It's kind of sexist, isn't it?
That is genius.
Yeah.
The fact that they marketed something that they benefited from without putting their name on it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they walked up and put just in someone's ear, and then they reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
Now, your take on that is cool.
Yeah.
That's not something I thought about.
Yeah,
You know.
But I mean, the marketing plan alone, when you're playing the long game in marketing, that is genius to me when it pays off to the dividends that it has now.
Yep.
Had their quality maintained its standard, probably when they. You remember the old commercial when the guy was going Levi's, ha ha. All right, go on YouTube, guys, and YouTube that because it's amazing.
And what you'll find on YouTube is nothing like what you just heard.
No. Well, I'm a trained singer.
A trained what?
I'm a trained singer.
Is that what we call it?
Well, I mean, I train myself at the vanity in the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
and I perform in the shower.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
sometimes
I
I
got
play
you.
an away gig in the car. But in that regard, I think that the Levi's
That's when
thing,
he's touring.
the Levi's thing is, I think it's really, really cool.
All right. Yeah. Let's go with that.
All right, yeah.
Let's go with that.
So next is, today I learned, the Rocky Horror Picture Show
Oh, this is up my alley.
is the longest running theatrical release in film history. It has been in a limited release for 4 decades, as 20th Century Fox has never pulled it from its original 1975 release and continues to play today in theaters. Is it cool or fucked up?
Oh, that is fucking awesome. That is awesome.
How did I not know
Oh,
I read
my
this,
God.
that this would be a Root special?
Oh my God. I spent far too many midnight shows down at the Kentucky Theater in Lexington, hurling hot dogs, sneaking in the water pistols with God knows what was in that water. It was not water, I promise you that. And there was probably half of the nights that I went down there I have no memory of whatsoever.
So you're obviously going to say that's really cool.
That is, yeah, of course it's cool. It's a cultural icon.
Well, and I'm not as animate about this subject.
Of course you're not, because you're uncultured. We should know this by now.
I don't know that that's a
The man
word.
does
Is that
not.
a word?
It is a word. Mostly. Why? Mostly
Uncultured?
uncultured. Yes.
Not cultured?
Uncultured. Yeah.
I'm not cultured.
Yeah. Well,
You are adorable.
he's not as animated about Rocky Horror Picture Show. He doesn't like Rush. We're going to get into that again. One of the pre-show shows before we decided to do this man lost his mind when we started playing YYZ.
Well, we're going. The
Got
problem
up,
with
stormed
that,
off. I'm out.
and on a different tangent, the
Of
problem
course.
with doing a show like that is copyright shit. We can't play music on this show to show what we're talking about. That's our big hurdle on doing music shows.
We can do a little bit of a blurb.
Yeah. So we're going to play around with that idea.
Yeah,
But going back to
come
the
back to
original
it. Yeah,
idea
yeah,
of
yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, let me tell you what I think's cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think a lot of things are cool about this.
Yeah.
Number
Magenta's
one,
awfully cool.
I absolutely love cult classics.
Yeah.
Whether it be the Lebowski, whether it be
Harold and Maude.
Benny and June,
Yep.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I'm not saying that Rocky is on the same level as those or they're on the same level as Rocky. The thing about cult classics is they're in the levels.
Right.
They just have that following
Yep.
that shows up every time that show comes out.
Right.
I think, honestly, The Sound of Music is a cult classic because there are some really, really people that I don't like that follow that damn movie every time it comes out, and they flock to the damn theaters to watch Julie Andrews prance through a fucking meadow.
Doe a deer.
I don't like it. I don't
It's
like
a female deer.
I know. I don't like any of that show.
Ray,
I like
it's a
Rocky.
drop of golden sun.
Just stop raping my ears with your words.
With me words?
No means no.
You know, it's a name I call myself.
It's, so, all right.
No,
so what
no,
I think
so's
is,
a needle pulling thread.
what I'm going to ear hole him. I'm going to smack him right in his ear. But what I think is awesome is it has a cult classic. It's cult following. So I get that. I also absolutely love Tim Curry in it.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that in 1975, a transvestite became a cult hero. And no one, if you think of Tim Curry, other than maybe It,
Yeah.
there is no other role they think of Tim Curry in other than possibly It, but that is mainly the Rocky Horror Picture Show role.
Right.
So I think that's really, really cool.
And how on earth they got half, easily a quarter of that movie past the censors in 1975 is beyond me.
I think because they marketed it as a B movie,
Yeah.
the same way as Young Frankenstein did, and in many
Yeah,
of those movies during that time. But I will be honest, I do not have the visceral reaction that Rude has when I hear this show, because I wasn't there then in '75. I mean, you know, I was 8 years old when it came out.
Right.
All right, as was Root.
Yes. Yes.
And as it matured and we matured, I was in a different place when that show got popular. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s and 40s that I kind of started going, all right, let me give this thing a look.
Yeah, it's
and honestly,
too late.
by then it was dated. You know, it really was.
But
Mr. What was the guy, the white guy that was the real straight guy in the movie? And then he ended up playing another character on TV. And this is I'm not helping the situation. But regardless, I want to say he was Mr. Gelding or Mr. Felding or something. I don't remember the show he was on. But regardless,
probably wasn't gelding.
by the time he may have been gelded.
Well, he may have by that point.
But by the time I was at the party, it had already got its legs.
Yeah, and for me, it isn't so much the movie, because the movie was trash. I mean, it wasn't that I loved the movie, is that I loved the community around the movie.
You loved the party at the Kentucky where you brought shit in and threw it at people. And I never got that.
But that's the whole show. That's why you go to Rocky Horror Picture Show, is to act it out with the audience. It's a
finger snapper.
Yeah.
Is what
It is that. There. It is. It's a step to the left. Let's do the time warp. Come on.
I'm not doing the time warp.
Oh, come on.
Not gonna
elbow
do it.
sex? Come on,
No,
James.
no,
James
no.
wants the elbow sex. No? All right.
No.
All right.
I'm going to go on and say almost the way that Root was on the first topic.
Yeah, he's meh.
It's cool. You know, and to see the reaction of people when they hear about Rocky Horror, yeah, and the fact that it's still in 2019,
It's still in theaters.
it still does that. All right, I'm going to say it's very, very cool.
Well, and the reason it's still in theaters is because of what happened in '77 through the early '80s, when this movement got started, where people dress up, they dress the part, they come in, they know the lines frontwards, backwards, and sideways, and you have a show on the stage echoing what's on the big screen on top of them.
You know, I wonder if that would be an interesting today I learned.
Yeah.
How did that underground movement start?
No, that could be a whole show.
You know, I don't know if it was something that the studio or the directors had in mind. I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. But
I mean, it's the same
I could
thing
be wrong,
it's
too.
the same thing with the Lebowski.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, you have the dude references all the time now.
Right, but
I'm sure they didn't intend on that to happen.
Well, no, but the dude references are part of casual conversation. We see them in movies, et cetera, et cetera. But for Rocky Horror, it's
a subculture.
It's a planned event. When I know that
you have businessmen
that dress
showing
up in
fucking
drag,
yeah,
or business women showing up to do magenta, that the character in the movie, and they know the lines, they know the dances, they know the songs, and they perform in time equally well, if not better in some cases, than the actual portrayal
Was
in the
it
movie.
Sigourney Weaver?
I can't remember. No,
I think it was Sigourney Weaver.
It may have been.
Because Sigourney Weaver is one of those women in cinema
Yeah.
that if you saw her on the street, you would not even turn your head.
Right.
But there is something about the roles that she's portrayed
That are
that
electric.
are sensual.
that.
She is not
Yeah.
pretty. She's not sexy.
Yeah.
But by the time hell, on Ghostbusters, I wanted to be the key holder. She was a gatekeeper. Fucker, I wanted to be the key holder. She's levitating above that bed. Move over, Bill Murray.
Right.
It's my turn. But I mean, there is something about there's also a lot of iconic actors and actresses in that movie that
Yes.
went on to greater and
Well,
better
and,
things
and,
as a
and,
springboard.
and think about this. Meatloaf was in that movie.
You know what?
He's Eddie. And in 75,
I want to tell you what.
that
though.
wasn't that the height of his deal?
No,
the second half came later.
I am a huge Meatloaf fan.
Yeah, I do too. I like it with onions and ketchup and all that good stuff.
Any man that size that can wear a blouse with frills and be a rock singer,
Uh-huh.
that movie was made for Meatloaf because he was all about the show, the drama, the performance,
Yeah.
and
But-
he was over the top in everything that he did,
But
as
it-
was that movie.
But in that movie, he's just a biker dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the dichotomy in that's really interesting too.
So I think the cultural effect of this movie, I'm going to say, is ultra cool.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, when the next time it plays at the Kentucky, I want to go. The intimidating thing for a guy like me is I don't know the dances, I don't know the songs, and it's almost like going to
virgin.
It's almost like going to a Catholic church. I don't know what the fuck you're all doing.
And when
Kneel, sit, stand.
when
shit,
they
whatever.
when they start the movie and somebody calls out any virgins in here, I'm going to bring out both my flashlights right in James's face.
That's more than concerning.
It's
on the
going to
number
be
of different
fun.
levels.
It's going to
But-
be fun.
so
Stay tuned, folks. We'll put a date out there.
I think that we can both agree that this is very, very cool.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about iconic movies, you know, everybody mentions the big movies and stuff, but it's really nice to know that Rocky Horror has set a record for 20th Century Fox.
and ongoing.
Yes.
And ongoing.
It's not been pulled yet.
Right. And it's not because of the quality of the film. Trust me, that film is not nominated for any awards.
And one of the cool things about this is that 20th Century Fox has not sold it to fucking TBS.
Of course not.
Has not sold it to AMC.
Because-
has not sold it to all of those because every other movie that we can think of has been sold to some of these secondary where they play it over and over again on a damn Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, and they ruin you for the genuineness of that movie.
But that's what Rocky Horror isn't. It's not a movie. Rocky Horror is an event.
It's an experience.
It is an experience.
So
yes.
we're going to both agree that this is ultra cool.
Absolutely.
So the last topic that we're going to talk about this evening is, today I learned, Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Tom Hanks have a regular scheduled colonoscopy party.
A what?
Colonoscopy party where they prep together overnight and share one car on the ride to get their colonoscopies. So
That's a very messy car.
they literally, the three of the most iconic, arguably, three of the most iconic comedians in the last 50 years, 40 years, get together, they have a sleepover, and they prepare their bowels together for the colonoscopy, whereas they go together the next day in the same car.
Okay. All right. I would almost want to have that read to me again just so that I can put some thoughts together, because at first blush, I want to say it's kind of fucked up, but then at the same time, I think this might be pretty fucking cool for a whole bunch of reasons.
So you got Martin Short, Steve Martin, Tom Hanks. Get together, have a sleepover. They prepare themselves for the colonoscopy.
Not
then-
each other.
No. I mean, I think they just all drink the Flavor Aid or the
it's
Kool-Aid.
not, trust me, bro, it's not
Yeah.
Flavor Aid.
And then they go the next day and together and they have the colonoscopy.
Okay, so, yeah, I didn't know that.
By the way, this is a fact.
Right.
I researched this. This was on today.com, whatever that place is. I don't know what that I don't know what that
Isn't
place
that NBC morning show?
Maybe.
And they've got their own domain?
Yeah. And that sounds like a Today show.
Yeah.
Type thing.
But it was, well, I mean, you know, one of the lead-ins.
He keeps saying words, but they don't make sentences.
Yeah, well, you know, 3 bourbons in, folks. Come on, 4, 6, whatever it is. But one of the lead-ins to this particular 3 bourbons in was we're going to cover the topics in Today I Learned, and in those topics are researched articles. These are in fact facts.
Absolutely, they have been, and the moderators on this Reddit will go in and make sure that these articles are legit.
Yeah.
Before they will allow that post to remain.
So yeah, I think it's a little bit creepy, but it's really cool.
Why do you think it's creepy?
Okay, I don't care who the dudes are. I'm certain that James and I can agree. And if anybody listening to this disagrees, we want to hear about you on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram to defend that. But Martin Short, Steve Martin, Tom Hanks, terribly sorry, that's my phone. Those 3 guys are probably the three most, at least 3 of the most influential comedians of our time.
Absolutely. They both, I mean, 2 of the 3 of them came from Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Martin was never on Saturday Night Live. Steve Martin was never on it.
But he was a
guest
perennial
host.
guest host.
Yeah. And he actually said the first cuss word ever allowed on television.
He also sang a song about
He actually said
Pharaoh, didn't he?
He said hell.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first cuss word, considered cuss word. And if you ever want to find something really cool, go on YouTube and look up the episode where in his monologue he used the word hell, and that's the first time it ever been uttered.
Oh, yeah.
Look how far we've came.
Right.
That was in like 73, 74.
Wow.
And he used the word hell, I want to say, over 30 times in the monologue. What the hell is it? That kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I admire Steve Martin for his
He's always pushed the button. He's always
originality.
pushed the button,
And the thing of it is, he looks so clean and pure and wholesome. No facial hair. Looks like he's never had to shave a day in his life. He's been gray since the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
And very, just the guy next door type of look. And he pushes the envelope as well as any comedian that has ever suited up.
Yeah.
Ever.
So those 3 guys, I don't care who it is. James started all that rant with with why is this creepy to me?
Yeah, why is it creepy?
Any 3 guys that get together to prep for colonoscopy. Now, James, have you ever prepped for a colonoscopy?
I have not.
You need to.
I have not.
You need to.
Look, I just go in hard and cold.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Come on, Junior. You don't even have to lube up. Daddy's ready.
Oh, he's clearly never been there.
It's like a walk in the park for me.
But
That's a Tuesday in James's house.
It's just not something that manly men are going to want to share.
Oh, I'm manly.
Oh, son, you
Look for a lady with a nimble finger.
God. Oh, yeah. If everybody listening to this just cringed, or at least all the guys that have had the colonoscopy, and you guys that have are smart because it's life-saving. So what's creepy about it is it's not something that I can see guys coming together to participate together. It's just weird. But
okay, go ahead.
But for men to begin that particular part of their lives, it's a turning point, because typically guys don't start being told that they need that exam till their late 40s. If you've got family history, it's earlier than that. But I'm wondering if these 3 guys kind of did it together so that they would all get it done.
And I think you're probably right. And like most things on the internet,
Like most things, I'm right.
I don't read the article.
Of course
I just
you
see
don't.
the headline.
And look at the picture.
But I will tell you that this information came out on an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, where all three comedians were sitting there, and there's a fourth fellow friend that goes. And I'm wondering if they've not lost somebody to an issue that could have been prevented had that person been more diligent about having early testing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's something that's impacted to them. But I think the big thing for me that makes this ultra cool, and I know we should not have derivatives of the level of cool, but I'm going ultra cool on this,
I started it with meh.
is that you've got three of today's and yesterday's honestly, Tom Hanks, best actor.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could be argued that it's in our lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Best, if not one of the best. Absolutely.
I would put him up there, and this is going to be argued, and please post your opinions on our Facebook page. I'm going to say that Robin Williams, in my lifetime, was my favorite actor.
Actor or comedian?
No, actor.
Actor.
What Dreams May Come, Dead Poet Society.
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, his. Granted, I don't remember a damn one of his stand-ups.
Right.
But I remember every movie he was ever in.
Yep. Yep.
And he could turn my attention around, and he could take me high or low, whichever way he wanted to. Tom Hanks has always came off to me to be in a little bit full of himself.
Yeah. That's going to be another episode because I'm thinking that we need to do
at this point, you're now privy to the think tank
and
for slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, but an actors and actresses bracket
That would be amazing.
for best actor,
And I could
best
still do that.
best performer of all time.
I'm
We'll
with you.
have 10 or 12 on
right,
on the
all right.
females, 10 or 12
I'm
on the
looking
males.
at, I'm
and
looking
go
at
with
Root going, get it, move on.
it. Okay. Yes. Yes.
He's got
So-
his fingers up in the air.
I'm thinking.
He's doing visual brackets, and I'm like, doesn't play well on a podcast. Just so you know,
okay.
if you're moving your hands, they're not getting it.
I got one more point to make about these three incredible gentlemen.
I don't think that
doing
Martin
this thing.
Short's incredible.
Of course you don't.
I think he is riding on the coattails of these other two guys.
He is
He's riding on the colonoscopy pump of these other two. Is there a pump? I'm not a medical professional.
Oh my God!
But he is just not the same as the other two guys. He's not. I mean, Steve Martin has resurrected, or not real. There was no death. God, I'm going back to the religious podcast.
Oh.
Steve Martin has carved his own path in comedy.
I haven't gotten over you talking about a colonoscopy pump.
Tom Hanks has carved his own path in drama and in cinema, right? And then Martin Short is the guy that is Ed Grimley on fucking Saturday Night Live.
He was also the little stubby feller in Three Amigos.
Yeah, and he just has always been the guy to be named later.
Okay. All right.
He overacts everything he does. Just saying.
My parting shot on this particular thing is, every single, I can't even remember what month. Is it May that's Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
I don't know.
I think it's a spring month. Ladies, chime in and educate this ignorant bastard.
Maybe May.
It could be. Yeah, that's Mother's Day weekend, isn't it? Or is that June? Whatever it is.
What are you talking about?
The point that I'm getting at
Go through the calendar.
is maybe it's February. I don't know.
31 days past September, April, June, and November. Jesus, what are you talking about?
The point that I'm trying to make here is
Horribly.
is in modern culture, we can't get away from breast cancer awareness. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Right?
That is not going to play well.
But I'm just saying it's everywhere, and
It bugs the piss out of me.
no,
These
it
women with
doesn't.
breast cancer.
It doesn't bug me. It's important that gets out there. These three guys that could be their message there could be influential to people like James, who hasn't had a colonoscopy
Yes.
yet. Yeah. But these three,
Although the night's still young.
Jesus. I think he's angling for some popcorn Sutton small batch recipe. But these three guys, if they made it public, and it could sway some folks, possibly save some lives.
Well, I'm going to, as much as I ridiculed him, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, it's a men's health issue that I don't think gets enough
There's not
sway
that many
in
men
the popular
out there
culture.
right now speaking about men's health issues.
Right.
And because we're not comfortable in talking about that stuff.
I am.
You know, I don't have a problem with it either.
Right.
Because men of our age have things that we need to take care of.
Sure.
And the fact that I have not is on me.
Yeah.
And I need to work on that.
Fix that
Which
shit.
I will.
Fix that shit.
Pardon the pun. But I think this is amazingly awesome.
It is.
And I really wish that it would get more play than it has. You know, it's obvious. It went on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's one of the most popular late-night talk show hosts that we have.
Wow.
And it has not went more viral than it has.
Yeah.
So, you know, talk about it. Everybody
Yeah.
that hears this, talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge deal, and I know I have a core set of friends, and we lost a friend. And we lost a friend to something, sadly, that cannot be dealt with in this manner. But nonetheless, had we had something that we could have, we would have made sure that we would have done something similar to this.
Right.
The fact that these guys have done it, that they talked about it, I think it should be a big deal.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. That's probably why we
Because this
saved it for
saves
last.
lives.
Yes,
This saves
it does.
lives.
It does. It does.
And it's preventative, and you can make it a party because, you know what Alex and Root and I do when we sit down and do a podcast? That could be a night that we're prepping for the colonoscopy.
That's not going to happen.
It would just have to be interrupted. You're like, gotta go. I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute. It's like, well, I'm the only one sitting here. Oh, I gotta go.
Dead air for.
And then we need to have some like copyright-free music going on.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know, elevator
do that.
shit or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
I see what you did there.
So I think this is ultra cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. And props to these guys for doing it.
It makes me like them a lot more. I already like Martin and I already like Martin.
Martin Short?
No,
You love Martin Short.
I like Steve
You
Martin.
got posters of him in your
But
bedroom.
it
Don't
now
lie.
makes me like Tom Hanks more and Martin Short.
Yeah. I'm Tom Hanks is and a lot of the Hollywood class has gotten involved with their political angle and gotten real mouthy about a bunch of stuff, and that's their absolute right to do that. But it has made me withdraw a little bit.
Sure.
I want to see performers perform their art, and I'm not too interested in these other things.
I don't
But-
need to know what Chick-fil-A's owner thinks
Right, exactly.
about anything. I just
Yeah.
need some fucking chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that kind of makes me withdraw from some of this, but then we see
This makes you
kind of
wanna
behavior.
engage.
Yeah.
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 I think it's one of the coolest things that I have read.
It's a good deal.
And but here's the thing that we need to consider, Root,
Uh-oh.
is that we have done 3 for 3 cool. So this is telling me I'm doing a bad job at picking.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to work on a better dichotomy at picking. And hopefully on our next episode, we can have a little, because we have gotten some criticism.
Isn't this amazing? What y'all listen to this shit. Go on.
We have
Phil.
gotten, and I don't want to say criticism, but we have gotten some suggestions that we are too nice to one another.
James, fuck you.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
But here's the thing: is we actually like each other. You know,
Yeah.
we do.
Just not that way.
Not in a colonoscopy way.
No,
Get your
no.
finger away from me.
That's not my finger. That's
Oh, that's
popcorn
not-
Sutton.
whoa. But we actually do like each other, and so I'm going to try to find more polarizing topics.
Itchy.
Oh, and I'm going
God.
to give a teaser. I'm going to give a teaser right now.
Get your finger away from me.
After our religious podcast, we're going to have a special guest host, and we're going to do a political podcast. And I want to tell you what, if you want to wait to hear us disagree,
You're going to hear it.
because I am what another party that we will have a guest host as would be considered as a snowflake. And I am going to just rub that snowflake all over his forehead. And then Root is a libertarian.
Yes.
Whatever flag they carry.
Borderline at this point, anarchist.
Then there's that. I'm gonna have to Google things. And then our guest host is going to be an extreme right winger, and we're going to be talking about different topics, not politics as a whole. That's far too general, far too broad. We're going to be talking about specific issues that we see as being prevalent today. So
This should be fun.
that is going to be some. And what we have to do is remind each other to play nice.
Right.
Let's not attack one another. Let's give them God.
You see, now this
That's not me though. I want to attack.
But the interesting thing for me, coming from this libertarian perspective, is generally libertarians engage things at a principled level. So I'm going to disagree with
everybody,
with an espoused principle.
with everybody.
Well, whatever the issue is,
I
that
will disagree with it.
I'm going to disagree with the principle based on a principle there. So it's not personal to you.
No, and I don't
You know.
think we have to make it personal.
Right.
Here's the issue with dealing with anything on that level today. It's now became personal.
Yep.
And that's when it becomes problematic.
Yes.
So we're going to try to stay above that fray, right? And that's coming up. That's going to be coming up after, hopefully, our next series.
Yep.
And the great thing of it is, guys, we've got a lot of really good ideas coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We're just starting, bro. Anybody that's a Kentucky fan, you'll know exactly what I mean right there. We're just starting, bro. And so we've had 3 out of 3 cool.
Yes. So find something. Find something to piss me off.
Oh, I think I may be able to do that.
Yeah, you're probably going to start saying Rush sucks
Yeah,
or something like that.
So